Good afternoon. My name is Jackie Chesa, the founder of the Nain Woman. Today, we had a widow's luncheon, which we had hosted at Sitam Valley Road. And in the widow's luncheon, we also had an initiative that we were doing called the Christmas basket. We were able to feed the widows and we were also able to give them baskets to take home. The Nain Woman is an organization that empowers families one widow at a time. We are basically an organization that tries to change the narrative where widows are concerned. We try to work with the widows through their grief and just to see how far they can go. And when they get better, we also encourage them to work with other widows. And we'd also like to see them empowered so that their children do not lag behind in school or do not miss to go to school because of finances. The program has been running since 2020. We actually started during the pandemic. And we had our first meeting in July 2020, but it was a virtual meeting. Then we had another meeting, I think towards the end of the year in 2020. And then in 2021, we also had two meetings. And then in 2022, this year, we've actually been able to have meetings from February to November. That is when our year begins. We begin our year in February and run meetings every month until November. We normally have our meetings the last Saturday of the month at Sitam Valley Road. We host our meetings from 10 to 1 p.m. The Nain Woman is based on 4 pillars. There's spiritual, psychological, legal, and financial. The spiritual pillar is where we meet every 4th Saturday of the month. We have our meetings with the ladies. We call in a speaker and we share our testimonies to encourage each other. Then we have the psychological pillar where we work with Christian counselors because we realize there are some people who cannot walk through grief alone. So we get them help. If it's not help for themselves, we also get them help for their children. And then we have the legal pillar where we work with Christian lawyers to be able to pursue any legal matters they have, to guide them on how to go about their legal issues so that no widow loses any property because of ignorance. And then the last pillar is financial. Financial, we put them in groups and then we look for somebody to fund any project they have. But our projects are different depending on where you are. A project in Western Kenya is not necessarily the same with a project in Central Kenya. So when we come, we put the widows in groups of 6 to 12 women and then they tell us what project they want to do. We get them basic business training, we get them funding, and then we leave them to run the projects on their own. The future of the Nain Woman, in the next 3 years, we plan to be in all the 47 counties of Kenya. We are not only looking at Kenya, but we're also looking at the whole of Africa. And from Africa, we'll go into Asia and the world. Because we realize that in most parts, especially in Africa and Asia, widows are not treated well. They are ignored. It's like we're invisible women. It's like our problems do not matter. We are stigmatized. We are victimized. So we are trying to bring awareness to the widows. And one of my mottos is change the narrative. We also don't want the widows to have pity on themselves and feel sorry for themselves. So we are trying to build their self-esteem and make them do things that will make them proud of themselves.
My name is Elda Ngayo, a mother of 4 and 5 grandchildren. God is good all the time. My daughters are now grown up, working. All of them, they are working. They are well educated. I thank God.
Widowhood is a tough journey. No one prepares you for it. But God always holds our hand. God has been faithful. He has provided for all our needs. Sometimes it's very lonely, but unajipa moyo, Mungu anatusaidia.
My husband passed on in 2020, July. So practically I've been a widow for 2 years and about 3 months. So far the journey has been here and there, partly tough, partly we manage, but God has been there. We say God's grace is sufficient. My husband went when my child was 2 years. She was so young, she couldn't even comprehend anything. So I went, I was asking myself, how am I going to do this? That guy was my everything. I used to just sit in the house, nilikuwa so naive, you see. So I used to ask myself, how am I going to manage? Then my sister-in-law called Jackie. I don't know how they met, but she told me there's a lady. Yeah, she told me there's a lady, Beryl. I want to hook you up with her. She will help you. Trust you me, when I talked to Jackie, we just talked over the phone and then partly through WhatsApp. But how I felt afterwards, I can't explain it, because I used to feel like I'm at a point where there is no future. But then she talked to me, akaniambia, oh, you know, even me, I was widowed, but my children are now aged, wako tu sawa, you see. So I felt encouraged, nikajambia, if she did it, then even me, I can do it.
This being the last program of the year, first we want to say thank you. We want to say thank you to God. We want to say thank you to our partners, the people who have supported us financially, the people who have supported us through prayer, the people who have supported us through encouragement. A big thank you to everyone who contributed to the Christmas Basket initiative. And the other thing I'd like to say is Merry Christmas, a Happy New Year, God bless you, see you in 2023, end the year with grateful hearts. Remember to thank God for what He has done through the year, what He's going to do in the coming days. God bless you, I love you, and thank you, thank you, thank you.